You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, Stand Up, Sit Down, featuring in-depth discussion and interviews with stand-up comedians on the art of stand-up comedy. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Stand Up, Sit Down.
All right, there we go. Welcome to another episode of Stand Up, Sit Down. Your host, Nick Perdue. I'm here with the hilarious Big Pimpin' himself, Tony Klein. How you doing?
Yes. I'm doing great, man. This is Friday, I'm on Black Hollywood Live.
Yeah.
I'm not black, so I wore as much black as possible to compensate. Hopefully you guys would notice that.
Yeah, I want to say you are probably one of like the most low-key black white guys I know.
Yeah.
You know,
just I'm from the Midwest. I'm from like the most white place you can possibly be, Waukesha, Wisconsin. So I don't know how that happened. I just happened to. My best friend growing up is black. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
The only black person in Wisconsin, you were like, that's gonna be
my guy. That's my
best
friend, dude. Yeah. We had, still is to this day. He lives in Ohio though, but keep in contact.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and that's how I got here on a Friday. Just fucking going through traffic. Sorry.
So now let me ask you, because Wisconsin, right? You know, you say you're up north, right?
Yeah.
You're in the middle of America.
Yeah.
Is it funny up there? Like, is there any comedy up there? Like, I feel like it's a slower state.
I feel like that's where I got into comedy, because if you observe anyone in the Midwest, you can't help but just laugh, because you're like, holy crap, these people are insane. Just insane. It's just, and like they live there for some reason. I don't understand. It's cold 9 months out of the year. It's like Russia cold. Like my dad, when I got my license when I was 16, told me to like keep like an extra jacket and gloves in my car in case I run out of gas. I'm like, well, shouldn't I keep gas in my car? Right. He's like, no, you don't want to die of hypothermia. I'm like, where do we live that I could die from running out of gas? Like, yeah, what happened to Tony Klein? Oh, he ran out of gas, 16 years old, done. Like, that's a terrible way to go out. You know what I mean?
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
So you moved to warmer climate.
Yeah, 20 years old. I was like, I'm out of here.
There you go. But okay, but in high school, were you the funny kid?
No. Well, I was, but because I guess class clown would be the title, but it wasn't because I wanted to be, just because I didn't want to do homework. And teachers don't like that kind of stuff. You don't do homework. Kids do your homework. I was just good at taking tests and stuff, which pisses off teachers, because if you don't do the homework, they feel like their job's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't need to do the homework, and then I do good on the tests and pass stuff. So it helped me out until I got the classes in college, and you have to do
You actually have to study.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is, because there's a different like approach, but
I mean, you can always cheat.
You could cheat, but you're lying to yourself. You got to shave at some point in time. That's you can't look at yourself in the mirror. At least I can't. I have moral values. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess that, because like in high school, I cheated like my senior year, but this was like like towards the end, where you already knew like senioritis hit, you know what I mean? So it was like, I'm like, why am I still, we're out partying, having a good time, and then you go in and you take a test or whatever. So
well, I mean, it is. I'm not like more like the moral, like I'm the moral compass and stuff like that. I've never done anything wrong in my life, but when it comes to cheating and stuff, like I didn't want to get busted, because then it goes against the whole thing of me like, it's my stance. I took a stance, drew the line in the sand. I'm like, look, teachers, I'm not doing the homework. I'm gonna do good on the tests. If I got caught cheating, that would ruin my whole rep. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's why.
That's true.
I have plenty of friends that cheat.
So when did you really like want to do stand up? Like what was the catalyst?
Here's the thing. Here's the odd. It's a really weird twist. I actually was doing acting stuff out here, commercial work and some indie films and stuff. And then my agent was like, you should take an improv class.
Okay.
But I was also taking a class, and that stuff's like $250 a month per class. I'm like, I'm not trying to spend $500 a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, you could drop one class, but I found a cheap like improv class through LACC, community college. Then I filled out the wrong course form and took a stand-up comedy class. And I walked in there and I'm like, look, did you hear of the stand-up comedy class? I'm like, not really, but I guess. And it was just like a workshop thing. I didn't do like a set at like the Comedy Store after it was done after like 6 weeks. But I got into it, and then I kind of like, still acting was still my main thing. And then I wanted to get back into it again. Then I got in a motorcycle accident like 3 years ago. I was like, I should probably get back into stand-up again. There's like things I wanted to do before I die.
Yeah.
I almost died. I'm like, all right, let's get back into that thing. So, yeah, I've been hitting it ever since then. So,
Okay,
2 years
so
in.
the accident kind of put your life into perspective a little bit.
I had the coolest experience for a tragic experience. You know what I mean? I can laugh about it now. And I laughed about it the day it happened because I got hit by this chick who was like 16 years old, pulled out of her garage, just hit me, T-boned me.
Oh, wow.
And I had the whole like life flash before your eyes type scenario. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Like I launched through time and space. Time slowed down. I had thought about every situation I had that day and just stuff that like man, I should have taken high school more serious. I should like like, I should have said goodbye to my mom. All those kind of things that I should have done. Like, I paid my Capital One bill. Just weird things that were and like, and then I got hit. And like in Wisconsin, they don't have a motorcycle. They don't have a helmet law, so you can ride without a helmet, which is typically what I do. So when I got out here, wearing a helmet on my motorcycle, I'm like, I'm indestructible. I thought I was like Iron Man. Like nothing could phase me on this motorcycle. I'm going through like Tron and traffic and stuff. And then I got hit. And the second I got launched off the bike, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so vulnerable right now. And I was like, I was like 28 at the time. I'm like, 28 years old, I'm gonna die as like a waiter. That's it. That's what's happening. I'm like, I should probably do some more stuff. I gotta really hit the grind. So it kind of gave me more, just to really start hitting the pavement more. I feel like with stand-up, you can really do more work. You know what I mean? It's really easy to be busy. You know what I mean? If you're just out there in the grind, you can't help but succeed. Yeah. If you're funny.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because if you're not funny, you will have a short-lived career.
Yeah, you know that. You should know that. I mean, I feel like it's in as long as I have been, or you have been, like you're a funny guy. That's why you're doing this right now. You're doing a stand-up sit-down right now. Black Hollywood Live.
Slightly funny. Enough
funny
people
guy.
think that I'm funny. I fooled them long enough.
Funny. I know. I thought that myself too. But when you have people run into you and you're like, "Hey, I saw you at the comedy store. You're funny." I'm like, those are the best compliments. Your friends will always tell you what they think you want you to hear. You know what I mean? At least I feel that. I also feel the same way about other comics. Like I feel like some people are just trying to use an angle. You know what I mean? I just, not to sound paranoid or anything, but I'm like, the genuine someone that's seen you perform live, that compliment's always the best one.
But now, let me ask you this, because like, because I don't like to have beef with people. You know what I mean? So like, even if someone sucks, like if I'm at a show and I'm like, say I'm on so and so's show and there's maybe like 10 of us, and out of the 10, 4 or 5 of them aren't funny at all, and then like the rest of us are, like we're varying degrees of funny. I'm still gonna say, hey man, good set. Maybe you can tweak this a little bit, just kind of help you out. But I'm not gonna be like, like you're terrible.
Well, that's the thing. You can gauge like as far as where someone's at, what they're like going for with a joke. Then when they're doing something new, you can give them like a tag, that kind of pointer stuff. But just to blatantly lie to someone like, you're awesome. They book you on a show, like, hilarious. I can't do that. I'd rather just not say anything like, hey, thanks for the spot, and then just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's not gonna help them out. But and I'm just lying at that point. Like again. Maybe I do have more of a moral compass than I thought, but like my word means something. I'm not gonna just tell everyone they're awesome all the time. That's just a jerk thing to do.
Now this guy believes, Tony said it.
Yeah,
so I could sell out Madison Square
Garden.
Garden.
Could you imagine that 10 years down the road, someone's been wasting, they're just bombing all the time, and like it comes back to like I was the one that told them that they had what it takes. You know what I mean? That's gotta be a scenario somewhere.
Right, you were
someone
the one.
put you, exactly. Who told you?
Put me.
Tony Klein did. Like, nah, I don't want that on me.
So what was your first show like?
My first show was good. My first show was at the Comedy Store, the main room. It was the sad thing is a lot of stuff I have is like observational, and basically I should have done stand up a lot longer, like way sooner than I did. I just always had like a knack for seeing things differently. I have a skewed perception on life, and then that just when it relates to people, it's like I think that way too. I'm also retarded. That is like the blessing in disguise. So just, I guess, the fact that like somehow my wires got crossed and I just kind of see things differently. It hasn't been that difficult to try to transcend that on stage. Just the fact of like getting that first chance was kind of a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the first show was good. I've had bad shows. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, there's like nothing worse than bomb. I did like doing black material as a white guy about my girlfriend. If it's not done the right way, can come across the entire worst possible way. Yeah, and that's a nightmare in its own right. You know what I mean? Because you can't the worst thing you could be as a white guy is labeled racist. But I'm like, I can't be racist. My girlfriend's black. That's not like it's not. You know what I mean? I'm like, so when there's material that comes across, because my girlfriend has she just got a new weave. Not a big fan of it. I like her natural hair and stuff.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think that her weave has like ownership of her. She's kind of like possessed by it. You know what I mean? Like gives her like a sassy attitude. You know what I mean? Like stuff that she wouldn't typically do, she does now because she's got like. I feel like she's like a disguise, basically. Sounds bad.
Yeah, she feels like superhero now.
Yeah, exactly.
Weave in
And I'm
her
like,
hair.
exactly. I'm like, you know, it's like your weave's giving you an attitude.
You know what's funny though, like because like there's when white folks say, "Oh, I can't be racist. I have a black friend, or I have a black," like that sounds racist.
I know, right? I know exactly, exactly. But that's like, case in point. Like, there's no way that you can kind of say that without sounding racist. And you're like, oh, I'm not racist. That sounds racist.
Yeah, like it's like because that, and then especially after
I just like talking to people. It doesn't really matter who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm also like I realize that like it's kind of a bad thing. I ended up talking to I was shooting this with this homeless guy the other day, and then I realized that he and I were connecting on too many levels. I'm like, damn, I'm like a sneeze away from being crazy apparently, because he and I are making everything he says is just making sense. I'm like, yeah, I think the urban's out to give me too. I don't trust Apple either. Then I'm like, wow, this guy eats out of a garbage can. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a home away from being that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you are one crazy decision away from being the next door neighbor to that guy.
Like if I ever feel constrained by my house and I start deciding living on the street, that's when I become full blown crazy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that guy's like claustrophobic. He feels restricted in an apartment. So his best place, he just lives in the whole city of LA. You know, why call one place home? That's his mindset.
You know, roaches are his friends now.
I think I just talked myself into moving out of my apartment right there. I'm like, that does sound appealing.
That's where and you could have beachfront property too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So live anywhere I want. That's how it goes.
Exactly. Don't have to worry about eviction or anything.
Yeah.
So, what was your best show? Because you talked about, you had a bad show. So, what was like the best show that you say you've had?
God, that's a tough one. Now I almost have to like do the girlfriend thing and ask you, what was your best show? Do that. Throw that back in your face.
Well, no, I mean, like there's because I haven't had a best show yet.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of like good shows.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm saving my best show title for like The Garden. Then that was like, okay,
So
like,
best show
show
as of yet, or best show so far for you. What would that be?
I mean, I haven't gotten a standing ovation yet, but okay, I will say, probably the one that was filmed that we put up at the Cork Lounge was Wednesday night. It was a good show. You know, had some new stuff in there, worked out. You know, and got applause, got a couple of applause breaks, kind of forced one. But, I
will wait here until you make an applause break.
Yeah, because I was like, come on, that was clever, guy. That was clever, So yeah, but that was good, because like, when you're in the zone and when you're in the groove, then it's like,
Those are the best. I think I've had quite a few. I do a lot of shows at the Belly Room at the Comedy Store, like shows that I'll co-produce, and when you get a good room like that and it has a good energy, and people just like they're laughing at everything. It doesn't matter what it is. There's like a sound that in the room, people just start laughing, and like you just get that contagious laughing and stuff. Like especially when you have a new set, they're just polished up, and they're just hitting every punch that you have, every tag just hits. That's the best show. So I don't think I have a greatest show, but I think those are my favorite shows. That's when I'm like, yeah, this is like what it's because it's a drug. That's all stand-up is.
It is. It really is.
Like I'm just addicted to a microphone. That's it. Absolutely. Get that. And the thing too is that gratification's not always there. If you fall flat or you have a killer show, a set in one. If you ever do like 2-3 shows in a night and you have like a killer show, mid show, and like another good show, it's just I still will think about the show that I did the worst on. Yeah. Before I go to bed, I'm like, you dropped the ball there. You know.
Why didn't I?
Yeah, I'm like like I could go back. It's like it's a weird thing. I'm never happy enough.
Okay, but now let me ask this though. After the first time you did stand up, were you like, oh my God, I have to do this more?
Yeah, oh definitely. Exactly. I think you're the same way. I think every comic is the same way. Yeah. Even like I think the first time I had a bad set, I was like, I think I probably went the first couple weeks without really having like by saying like not a bad set, like wasn't just stopped. Everyone was just holding their stomach, laughing, rolling in the aisles and stuff. But like it was kind of flat, and then like there was an actor who was just a silence. Like that was a bad set. I'm like, whoa, none of those little tricks that I had worked. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I'm like, some people I feel like, and that's when you can tell whether or not you want to pursue this, or like I gotta get out. I don't ever want to feel like that again. Where I'm like, no, F that. I'm going back in there. I'm gonna get those people to laugh. I wish I could get those people back. Do you ever have that feeling? Yeah. Like I had like one of the first shows I did at this new room. I'm running the man cave, which I'd like to get you back.
Great room, by the way, guys.
We'll get Nick Perdue back down there. I had a bad set. I'm like, it was packed out, which is the worst scenario ever. It's like that's like the first impression type thing. I'm like, I had to go back there week after week and try to prove myself to the staff. I was one of the staff because they're always there. People like in the seats always rotate, but like the people that like the 9 people that are running the establishment, I don't want to look like this idiot's on stage again. I'm just like walking outside having a cigarette break, like no, just come on, give me a chance, you know. That's the worst.
Okay, but now, how do you recover within a set when it's bombing? Like, like, all right, none of this is working. How can I get these laughs back? Like, what do you do to at least, like, end on a decent note?
It depends. If you're in, like, a bar scenario, like a bar show, and people are just talking in the background, I feel like the best thing to do is just kind of, like, see what they're talking about. Just address what commotion's going on. Because apparently they're more concerned with what they're talking about than you, so that type of situation. But material that I have that drops, that's a tough one. I don't like to just change subjects because, like, you know what I mean? You got to try to make some kind of decent segue. Yeah. Whatever I'm like on, I can try to find some kind of sister topic and then switch to that, and like that might seem like plays better, but it's a nightmare. There's no like set thing to do. It's kind of like, I don't want to drown, but I'm gonna keep treading water somehow. Like I don't want a life raft. I don't want to get off the stage and just give up my time. I'll figure this out, but I'm not gonna drown. That's the whole plan.
Yeah, and because I
as
think
dumb as an analogy as that is.
Well, and because like the worst thing that you can do, and because like I've done this, it's where you just like bail on a joke and you try something else, and then that is where you keep bailing on jokes.
Yeah, I don't want to say this dude's name. I had an actor who wanted to give himself a run at doing stand-up, and kind of just guest bumped himself on a show of mine, which I wasn't too happy about. It's on a show called Scandal. I don't have many enemies. That guy is like, now he just made himself an enemy because it was like my show. He wouldn't get off the stage. He was bombing, started heckling. He started heckling the audience and was just ruining the room. You've had that before. You've been in a room before when someone just starts, their stuff sucks, they get insecure, so then they start trying to make the cut, like the actual, like, the audience uncomfortable because they're uncomfortable, but then it makes everyone uncomfortable, and then I'm getting pissed off. I'm like trying to get this guy off the stage, and he starts getting, I'm like, I would never want to do that. So when you see people do that, you're like, okay, note to self. Not that I would ever do that, but I'm like, that's a terrible, that's a perfect example of what to not ever do on stage when you're bombing. The best case scenario, that guy could have got off stage. It wasn't until his wife got him off 5 minutes later when he's drunk that I finally got him off stage. But the funny thing is when someone does that, I would really like to say the guy's name, but I can't.
I mean, what are his initials?
His initials are Columbus Short. Those are his initials. Dude, I couldn't get the guy off the stage forever, and it sucked because it was like, I know. I honestly, like, it was the best. It was probably my best, like, debunking of a heckler, but it wasn't even a heckler. It was a guy that was on the show. It's like after he got off the stage, like I was trying to light him to get off the stage, and then he starts like talking crap to me. I'm like, you do know I brought you on the stage. I'm the host. I'm gonna get back up there in a second, take the mic back from you. Do you not think I'm gonna say anything to you? I'm not gonna just brush it off and like nothing happened. Like
we all
you have to address the elephant in the room. Exactly. And then, like, for my own credibility, I'm like, not gonna let I had to bump 2 comics. I wasn't happy about the whole situation.
And that's the worst thing.
That is the worst thing.
One, being bumped, and then being bumped by someone. I mean, regardless who this person is, I understand that we all have bad nights. I understand that, but because like if I'm being bumped by, let's say, like Kevin, let's say Kevin Hart comes in, and I'm bumped by him, cool, because 9 out of 10 he's gonna kill, or he's gonna be funny. But if you have an off night, it's like, all right, because I know that you're funny, and it's still okay because there's that mutual respect, comedian to comedian. But if it's someone else who's let me just try this thing out,
exactly.
I don't care who you are.
He got up on the stage, and the first thing he said, that his opener was this: I'm a great actor. I've never done stand-up before, but I feel like I can do a pretty good job. That's how I open. I'm like, wow, you just insulted everyone that's on the show. It's like, I don't do what you do, but I do something else. So I feel like in my least attempt, I can still do just as good as you. Here I go. And it just bombed from there on out. I'm like, it was a nightmare. It was pretty awesome. I had probably the best retaliation set ever. I wish no one taped it. No one taped it. No one said it. There's no YouTube.
He was on stage and no one. See, that would have been a great TMZ or something.
I know. Believe me. I mean, I got a good. It was pretty awesome because the security had to get him out because we were going back and forth after I got back on stage, and it was.
So you were on stage and he was off stage and he was still talking?
Yeah, after when I got back on stage, after I got him off, after his wife got him off, I got on stage, and then I had to apologize to my comics and the rest of the audience there. I'm like, sorry, you guys had to waste 10 minutes of your life listening to this arrogant prick talk about himself. Like, just prefaced it by that, and then just kind of went through his set and kind of picked apart him via all the stuff that he gave me.
That he
You know what I
said,
mean?
right.
It was like a battle. You guys should have seen it. Yeah, it was just like, and I used to do debate in high school. Yeah, it was an easy A. You know, in debate, if you take the counterpoint, all you have to do is listen to the person doing the first part and just absorb that, and then just make a bullshit case and retaliate. Sorry.
But I mean, like, again, and that's the thing too, because there's a lot of folks that feel that they can do stand up, or feel that they are funny, but it's like once you get on the stage, because that's half the battle is getting up.
Yeah.
Getting up there is half the battle. All right. Now, two, and if you happen to be a well-known person, people will give you a pass for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
so he probably got that pass, and then, all right, you need to say something funny.
Yeah. Exactly. My girlfriend is a huge fan of the show, and when he got on stage, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy he's here." I'm like, and then like minutes later, she's like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I was not happy with that."
That's funny.
Yeah.
But okay, but how do you handle hecklers?
I mean, I don't really have too many scenarios when I have hecklers because I don't like to do the rhetorical questions. That's the questions that should be rhetorical, but like a typical audience member that may be a first-time person going to a comedy club. So I feel like that's another thing too. I think there's like a learning curve for like when people go. I swear, there's like some people you can tell it's their first time being there, and it's like I don't know what they know. It blows my mind. It blows my mind because there's never another scenario when you're in a dark lit room with a stage when you talk back to the people on stage. You don't do that when you're at a play.
Yeah, it's true.
They're like, Romeo, oh Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Like, right here, row 12, seat B, right here. That's where Romeo is. No one does that. But like it was stand up. Anytime says someone's like, you guys are just, I do that all the time. Like, there's just the heckling that's there. It blows my mind. But yeah, I try not to get in a situation where I would involve too much heckling. And I only try. I mean, you got to do crowd work just to keep the crowd familiar. But I think one time I had a chick that came to like 2 shows back to back, and I used the same joke. It was a dumb sometimes I think about like orange juice. I think it has like the coolest nickname, OJ, and I kind of feel like other juices got left out of the mix. Like, why is like cranberry juice not CJ and AJ for apple juice? Like, why has OJ got the cool nickname? You know what I mean? I have dumb thoughts like that, tangential thoughts and stuff, and it was a part of a bigger bit. And some chick's like, I heard that joke yesterday. I was like, what? Orange juice jokes don't just come into my head, right? You try writing juice jokes, right, and come back the next day with something fresh. A lot of puns there.
And it was told by a guy who looked just like you.
Yeah,
like, it was,
I heard that yesterday. I'm like, yeah, well, because it was me telling the joke yesterday. It's like yeah.
That's funny.
But, then like another comic was like, I was a little pissed about it. And said, yeah, we should be happy. You should remember your material. I'm like, yeah, touche. But
yeah, because like that's always nice when someone comes up to you and was like, "Hey, I like the joke you do about da 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 da." You know what I mean? And then you're like, "Wow, like that's good because your stuff is memorable."
Yeah,
As
long as they preface it by saying, "I like the joke," rather than be like, "You're the guy that has that joke," and then you're kind of like, "What do you like that joke?" I mean, you remembered it, but was that a good thing or a bad thing?
Did you steal it and tweet it? Like,
is that like a joke you said I was the worst joke you ever heard, and like I'm the guy that gave you that joke?
Thank you.
You gotta have a little bit of, you don't want to be big-headed. I think sometimes people think everything. You ever like have a friend that's like, dude, that chick's totally checking you out right now. She's checking. When girls look at me, I'm like, man, maybe I have a boog hanging or something. I get insecure more than being like, of course she's looking at me. Why wouldn't she be? You know what I mean? Like there's 2 parts. I feel it's the same thing with stand-up and feedback from like audience members. Like I want to make sure they're like telling me what I'm getting with the feedback they're giving me.
Yeah.
Not like taking it the wrong way. Being like, I knew that joke would kill it always does.
Now, how do you write new material? Like, do you like physically write everything down? Do you put it into a recorder?
Well, majority of my stuff's like storytelling stuff. So like, I try to like go on stage at least once a night. Try to get up somewhere. If I don't have a book show, I just try to do a mic just so whatever I have. Basically, I try to do like an audio diary. So I take whatever I have, like clearing through the day, what came around, and then just try to get that on stage. And just to make sure, see if it plays. If it doesn't, whatever. But at least I got it. And I always go back to it again. I also have an outstanding memory. Not bragging.
So
I have an elephant memory, basically.
How long from like inception to like when it's all the way done does it take for you to complete a joke? Like to when it, like let's say it's like it'll be like TV ready.
When I have something I think plays well, I will just work on it and try to slip it in a set, probably like 6 months, I'd say. 6 months. And that's only maybe might yield you, it's like a weird baking recipe. You take 6 months of preparing a joke and trying to work it out, but you can't use it too long because then you're the guy that has the same set all the time. So you got to like put that on the back burner, but you want to put it on the back burner until you get it decently made. You know what I mean? So about 6 months, I'll try to like redo all my set and then keep what I have in the back and then try to like, it's like sorting your laundry basically is what I do. As dumb as that sounds, like I put like material in different bins in my head, and then if I have something that's like a new joke that might work with that, I'll try to put those two together. You know, put likes together.
So do you ever throw jokes away?
I try. I mean, it depends. I really don't, because I have just notebooks upon notebooks and stuff that like it's just a bunch of little just
like bullet points.
Yeah, exactly. Bullet points, one line of a joke, or maybe a tag, or just kind of try to flush out some stuff. But I mean, on the way over here, I was just road raging the whole way, and like I had like a week last week, my girlfriend wanted to meet up down on the west side and get lunch, and I live in West Hollywood, so going on like the west side down by like the 405, that takes like forever. That's why it took me forever to get here. Just fighting traffic. It was a Friday too. And I'm just fighting traffic the whole way over there. She has a small window. I get there. We only have 15 minutes left. I almost lost it the whole way. I'm yelling. This is when they're setting up for the LA Marathon like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like yelling. Like I have no more inner monologue. It's just going away from road rage. I just yell when I'm driving. I get 8 miles to the gallon. I'm spending 50 cents per mile. I've probably spent $10 to get down to lunch by her. I'm losing it at construction works. I'm like, set up for this tomorrow. This thing's not even until Sunday. It's Friday. Just yelling the whole way I get down there. Then, of course, as girls are, they're always amazing when they see you when you're late. And they're like, you know, we only have 15 minutes now because you got here late. I'm like, I just like, do you know what I just fought? I just probably broke like 100 traffic laws. Could have like killed numerous people, yelled at a lot of people, spent $10 in gas, got here, paid for this crappy sushi meal, which I don't want to eat, but you do because that's what I got to do because I'm a guy, I pay for things. And now you just told me I only have 15 minutes left. But the best thing was she told me, because I got to leave and go to West Hollywood after this. I'm like, you're going to the place I just came from in 15 minutes? Why don't we just get lunch on my side of town? But you can't say it to your girlfriend. I just sat there like just quiet. I'm like, But that eventually will be some kind of material. Cause I'm like, God, that's just, it'll be a bigger part of like an umbrella topic of my girlfriend. But like just things like that. Like I love the girl and like she's great, but just women don't, I can't generalize that and say women. Sometimes, sometimes just girls just don't understand. Yeah.
Okay, so your girlfriend is black.
Yes.
She is of the African persuasion. And so black rooms versus white rooms. Is there any difference? Because some comedians say there's not really a difference, but do you feel that there is a difference doing, you know, like black rooms, white rooms, Latin rooms, you know, stuff like that? I think black rooms are typically more, they'll tell you whether or not they like what you're doing. Yeah. But that's just, I mean, and I just think that's just like, I actually enjoy that because it's like, all right, we're not like this, move on. Whereas like, I don't know what because it's not like there's any white rooms. It's like, I guess a predominantly white room would just be silent. You know what I mean? Yeah, like whereas like a black room or a Latina room, take it.
Yeah, because I there's a couple of Latina rooms I've done in like East LA and stuff, and like, I think it's the same thing as like a black room. They're just more prone to tell you like, you know, they don't like the material. Like they'll just be like, move on. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to not have that kind of thing, but I've heard people like, next topic, who's the next guy? And I'm like, damn, that sucks. I'm like, you gotta make sure you're hitting all the time. Like which is good. I think that's probably the best like, you know, work you can do. That's what you want to do. You know what I mean? I'd rather have that kind of like, you know, it's a high stakes game.
Yeah, and because it's like, and that really kind of weeds out the bad ones versus the.
And I'm not saying that like it's like doing a general audience room's different. It's just the fact that there's a weird silence there where you're like, okay, are you guys just tired? Are you burnt out? Am I going up too late? Do you not like the material? There's just too much. Whereas like ethnic rooms tend to just throw it out there. I'm like, done, awesome. You don't want to just go home. You want me to talk about something different. That's like, you know, I appreciate that feedback. Some people get tough. I'm like, how dare, this is my time up here. Like, you know, that's never gonna work. I don't get that kind of mentality. But
okay, because you produce shows. You have 2 or 3 shows that you produce, right? Yeah. Okay. Now you know in LA is a showcase town. This is what I've been told. It's LA is a showcase town. And one, you know, it's difficult for comedians to make some money. So this is like a 2-part question. One, what is your feeling about making money in stand-up in LA? Yeah. And then what is your feeling about bringer shows in LA?
I don't like bringer shows. I try not to ever do bringer shows. I always tell my comics I appreciate them telling their friends, but I won't tell someone like they can't go on if they don't have like 10 people. I think that's a trashy thing to do. You know what I mean? I'm not booking your 10 friends. I'm booking you.
Yeah.
If you want to bring friends, I appreciate that. I try to take the workload on myself. It's never a good thing because it stresses you out.
It does.
But it's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't want. I hate using people. Everyone's done a bringer show at one point in time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't have enough people, and I got my time cut. I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing this. Anytime I heard the word bringer, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. That's stupid. It's a jerk thing to do. A lot of guys do it though. What was the other part of the question?
And then about making money.
Oh yeah, money.
in
That's the thing.
stand-up and all
You can make money producing shows. I don't want to do that because it's not. I don't want to be a producer. In fact, I would like to try to keep that for the art only, and then make money on the road. I mean, you can make money in San Diego or San Francisco and stuff, or in California. But yeah, LA is definitely you're doing stand-up for free, and it's crazy seeing guys that are like, I've had them on my shows, like guys that are like, paid Comedy Central acts and stuff, or got shows on MTV, do your show, and they do it for free, and I'm like, I don't think I deserve money to do an LA show because these guys aren't getting money for LA shows. You got to get out of LA to make money. The problem is getting out of LA to make money. You know what I mean? It's a catch-22. Cause,
Right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
this year, man, we'll hit some Midwest tours, huh?
There you go.
Plan
you
it
know,
out.
just all, because like that's what I've heard too. People have been talking that like Kentucky, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Iowa, stuff like that. Especially like the colleges out there, because there's not a lot to do. You know what I mean? So you come in, and if you're funny, then they'll be like, oh my gosh, they'll just love you.
I'm gonna make the hometown boy makes good tour,
Yeah, because
Go
you
back
used
to
to
the
be
Midwest.
selling out in Wisconsin.
Waukesha, Wisconsin, man.
Yeah.
Coming hot. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go back there and do some stuff in the Midwest. I got like my family back there, so I could base of operation. But I only want to go back for like a week.
Yeah, you can't stay too long. And like during like the summer months, you don't want to go.
I'd say late spring. Summer is like mosquito ridden and humid.
Oh,
It's
so
just
it's-
the place sucks. It's the worst. It's the
That's
worst.
terrible. So who do you really look up to? In stand up. Like who is your?
My favorite comics right now are like Brian Regan's going to be a constant. He's like the messiah, if you will, as far as comics go. I think he's probably one of the best comics ever.
And he's clean too.
He's
Like
clean,
he
which
stays clean.
I wish I could not swear, but I enjoy swearing. So that's where Bill Burr comes in, because I feel like he's also amazing, and he's also really witty, and he's got some deep stuff, and he's like some of his stuff is like it's touching. Same way with Brian Regan or Jim Gaffigan, because they all have like family. You know what I mean? There's a certain element of that. I appreciate a singular bachelor comic like myself, but to a degree, there's like a certain element of like there's relatability that you want to have that is there, and I think those guys do a pretty good job at doing it, especially the clean guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because initially when I started doing stand-up, I didn't want to swear, but my mom swears. You want to do stuff that you're comfortable doing in front of your parents.
Yeah.
I don't get too blue. I don't like to go vulgar. I don't like to use the C words very much because I don't use them in my comment talk.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just
Like,
in
I don't,
every day, yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to have like a split personality. I talk about some blue stuff on stage. Like I sound like a douche,
Yeah, like who is this guy?
Yeah, it's like, he changed.
Yeah.
Well, I have like some stepsisters and stuff, and I have like YouTube videos and whatnot. And they're watching it, and I haven't talked to them. They're like estranged. I haven't talked to them in 10 years. Like, wow, you really swear a lot now. I'm like, I've sworn for a long time. It's not like stand-up's changed you. You swear all the time. I'm like, well, no. Sometimes you just gotta. You can't. You need like a verbal punctuation.
Yeah.
Sometimes a good F word works perfect.
That's true.
Those are the exclamation
That's true.
points I wanted, but like a vocal version.
Yeah, but no, have you ever challenged yourself just to do a straight clean set?
Yeah, I did like a clean set like last week in Venice. There's like a place, Danny's in Venice. It's like a restaurant, so you have to do clean, which is fine because I have a lot of clean, because I have a lot of cerebral stuff, a lot of like dumb, like that toast joke you like.
Yeah.
It's a dumb joke and it's clean. It's just like it's a thinker. It's a slow burner. you know?
Right. Like the toast.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. But the problem is, though, I feel like sometimes in a restaurant environment, when you're like, you ever do a show when you feel like people didn't know there was a show there, and they're like, and they're eating their dinner, and like, I've seen engagements. There was like, I was downtown doing a downtown show last Thursday, and there was a couple there for their anniversary, and I know they didn't know there was gonna be a show there, but that was what they're planning to do, and like, I know the guy spent the whole week planning out for this thing. It's like their 10-year anniversary, and they went down to this restaurant, and then I happened to be there with a bunch of other comics and a microphone. I'm like, oh, we ruined this for you. And they were good sports, but I was like, sometimes people don't want to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they want to have like a nice intimate moment, with their significant other, not some guy, standing on a bar stool with a microphone.
But now, I've done clean sets in situations like that, and they just like go under the radar. Like didn't even like I was talking to no one, like doing a monologue, and then the dirty guys in a situation like that can grab them. You know what I mean? But it completely ruins what they're doing and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to ruin their meal and get like a good set out of this thing, or like just kind of do my thing?
It's kind of flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Radar,
So it's like I don't know. It's a weird thing.
So where do you think the state of comedy is right now? Because like there's only maybe like a few like top breakout stars, and there's a lot of guys who are like on the bubble. You know what I mean? But they're not really like big time.
Yeah, there's like I think because your Dane Cooks and like your George Carlin's, like the big guys, the big fish, Kevin Hart and all those guys. Those are rare. I mean, that's like you look at Hollywood and like who gets Oscars as far as actors go. There's like 200 people that like are in the running and stuff each year, but there's like thousands of actors in SAG.
Yeah,
stand-up's the same way. There's like a shit ton of comics, and there's like 5 guys in the upper echelon.
Right.
But below that though is what I really like ideally to do. Like I think that'd be great to be someone like a. No, I don't think I want to be as big. Dane Cook's too popular.
But I mean, okay, but
you
like,
can almost
now,
be flash in
though,
the pan though at some point in time. But if you blow up too big,
right,
people love to hate you, and I'd rather, and I don't want to have people running into me all the time. I like to just kind of make my rent money off doing stand-up, and then just do my thing. I enjoy it enough for what it is. I don't need to like have all the lavish stuff. It sounds like a mediocre like expectation, but at the same time, it's like it's practical, and you can always grow bigger. You know what I mean? Just get myself off a day job, and I'm good to go.
Right.
I don't want to sell pancakes anymore.
As long as it's paying the bills,
yeah,
man.
Then that's the thing is like I feel, and you can always move up from there. Hard work and perseverance will always get you to where you want to go.
But okay, but now let me ask you, just because like the Dane Cook situation, right? Like maybe 3-5 years ago, he was probably the biggest thing selling at Madison Square Garden, this and that, yada yada yada. Now though, I don't think he can sell out Madison Square Garden. Like he can definitely fill, I would say, a 8 to 10,000 seater. He could fill that, but going like 20, I don't think he can do 20.
I don't know. I mean,
because it kind of feels like he fell off a little bit. Not saying that he's not funny anymore, but he's not where he was.
Well, that's the thing. I think people got sick of him. He was on everything. He was everywhere. He was doing a lot of movie roles and stuff, which is fine. But I think that basically people just got burnt down on Dan Cook being and everything. And everyone's like, oh, he's the funniest guy. And then people in colleges like playing his tapes all the time and stuff. Like he just kind of got people. His own success
was kind of his downfall.
Bit him, which is a bitch. Which is kind of like it's unfortunate because he's a really nice guy and he's a funny guy.
Yeah,
you've met him. I've met him. We've both met him and stuff. But you've also seen him when he has a dark set, and you're like, because that gets to people, man. That's a huge thing. Could you imagine being like the biggest thing since sliced bread, and all of a sudden like the next week like, Nick Perdue, he sucks. He's like, that guy's overrated. Like that would kill you. Like the day before, where everyone's like, that guy, everything that guy says is amazing. Then at some point in time, there's one day when people are like, yeah, I don't like him anymore.
Yeah, like that's enough.
In fact, I hate him, and people are just blogging on him and blasting him, and he gets a lot of crap. He gets a lot of crap on his like Twitter. People talk crap all the time. He's a nice guy. Yeah. Like he's never done anything. He's not a mean person.
Yeah,
it's just a sad thing.
But okay, let me ask you this: do you think that Kevin Hart is headed down that same road? Because he's done the big arenas. Did an international tour.
I think Kevin Hart, if he
4 movies right now,
he'll go in the Eddie Murphy way if he does anything like that. He's a great guy. And like, do you ever see that Conan skit with him?
Oh yeah, well, with him and Ice Cube, and they're running around. Yeah.
Ice Cube's hilarious too, by the way. I just gotta say, his comedic time is always awesome. But Kevin Hart, I feel like, he'll do the same thing as like Eddie Murphy. He'll go down that road and like,
and
just like,
stop doing comedy.
Family.
But as long as he doesn't go the Channing route with Eddie Murphy, then like let him because.
Well, I just don't. I think he's too versatile to like be like a flash in the pan. You know what I mean? Like I think he's got too many things that he'll be current and he'll still do stand up, and he's just a good dude all around. A talented cat.
No, I mean, hopefully he's able to stay on for a while, because like that's the thing, because like you saw what happened with like the Cat Williams and then Dave Chappelle, and then so it's like he's like the next guy up.
But see, okay. I think Chappelle though, I think he has like a similar mindset as what I was saying. Is like you don't want to be too big, because then you're like. He kind of shot himself in the foot. Obviously, he did. I mean, he fucking walked away from a contract with Comedy Central. But it's because of the fact that like he was growing to be like a Dane Cook type thing. It was like he'd try to get out of that. But I mean, if you're in that fast track, I don't really know what to do. I mean, What would you do? Would you try to just ride it out and see how high you can go, or just
try to because like
curve it a little bit?
My biggest thing, and I've told people this, is that I want to do stadiums. Like I want to sell like 80, 100,000, like, and do like a big stadium, do stadium tours. You know what I mean? Like, and then because like there's all right. Once you do that, then I'm like, all right, then like I'm cool. Like, what else do you really need to do? You know what I mean?
I agree. See, I think I don't want to do that too early though. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
I would like to. The same reason why I don't go to the gym and put like 8 plates on each side and try to bench it, because I'm not that strong. You know what I mean? I got to build up to that kind of stuff. I would like to do that. I mean, I think everyone would like to have that giant crowd just to hear that uproarious laughter. You know what I mean? I could only imagine how awesome that'd be. However, I'm fine doing comedy in front of 5 people at a bar.
Right, like on a
totally happy,
Tuesday
totally
night.
content with that. No, because when you do like an improv show or like the Laugh Factory, like the bigger venues that are solely based for comedy, like an actual good comedy club show, those are the best because people are there, they're actually listening. If you're Dane Cook or like Chappelle, anyone selling out a stadium, people are there to see you. You're typically they're on your side already. You know what I mean? Just to get the people in the seats, though, is the thing. I still think Dan Cook could do that, but he pulls all his pals in and stuff. He's got like a pretty good lineup of guys all the time.
I mean, no, I mean, it's that because I actually just watched Vicious Circle the other day, and so I'm like this guy, he's hilarious, and so.
How weird do you think that'd be doing a set like that on a circular stage?
I actually thought about that, and I'm like, I think it was perfect for him because he doesn't stop moving. Like he just, he just walks and he's going, so it's perfect for him. It would be a little weird for me knowing that there's people behind you.
Exactly, because
and then you're like cheating them because they're not getting the full. You know what I mean?
Because it's typically like an insult to turn your back on an audience on stage, and it's like Johnny Cash got a lot of crap for that when he started his career. But like Dane Cook with that, I was watching that the other day too. Then I also watched the movie The Town the other day, and there's that part at the end of Jeremy Renner when he's running away with the gun and he's like shooting everywhere because there's cops all around him. I feel that's how Dane Cook is on stage. He's like just shooting jokes around all around the room, and he's like staying around. I'm like, it'd almost be like it would take you out of what you're doing trying to do a 360 stage like that. At least me, I don't know.
I mean, either way, it'll be a great challenge.
It'd be a great experience nonetheless.
Yeah,
blows my mind. Yeah.
So before we wrap, a couple things: internet comedians versus traditional stand-up. What's your take on that?
I always go traditional stand-up. I think it's like the best way to do it. I think word of mouth, just the buzz, is the way to do it. I don't want to because I feel like if you promote yourself. I think the internet's great for promoting yourself, but I feel a lot of people live second lives via the internet that aren't really necessarily true.
Right.
It's easy to put your best clips online or make like funny skits and really promote yourself as a comic, but you're literally it's the same thing about a girl that wears too much makeup.
Yeah.
You're putting out the wrong foot.
It's a facade.
Facade, yeah, exactly. Right? I don't like that kind of plastic crap, even though we live in Hollywood. Whatever.
The land of plastic and fake, right?
Sick of fake.
So where can people see you live next?
Tonight at the Comedy Store, 7 o'clock. I'll be there. Then Sunday and Monday, I'm on the west side. I'm at Cock and Bull on Sunday. Brennan's on Monday. If you want to pop by, do a spot, let me know. That's for Nick Perdue and anyone else.
But come by and
laugh.
Enjoy
Yeah,
it.
Nick will be there.
Come by, laugh,
and then,
have a good time.
Yeah, I'm like at the Wednesday. I'm at the Man Cave. Tuesday, me and my girl are gonna go bowling with her parents. Her dad thinks I'm Asian, so I think her dad gave me the blessing. He's like he's Belizean too.
There you go. And so where can people find you online?
Online, I'm at Facebook /Tony Klein comedian, and my Twitter and all stuff. You can find it. Just Google Tony Klein. That's all you gotta do.
There you go.
See my ugly mug.
There you go. Thank you, Tony, for coming in. It was fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you know me, Nick Perdue. You can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue. Until next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.